Well, good evening, everyone. How's everyone doing on this Saturday evening? Welcome back to The Cage. I am your host, Jimmy Bell, for this week's News Blast. We have an excellent show for you this evening. We've got a lot of information to go over, and so we're going to go into that. So give the video about 5 minutes to get us going as I say hi to folks coming into the chat. And as I wait for Lori, Laurel, and April to come on. Now, let me see if... Alright, I don't see them on there yet. So, let's just wait for them to come on. You're welcome to participate in the chat. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in there. Hopefully, I'll be able to see them. Seriously, guys, when I'm doing this on my phone, I've got about this much space of chat, so that's all I can see, and so it can get a little difficult sometimes. Let's see. So I want to say thank you to everyone who watched last week's episode. I was actually a little surprised the positive feedback we got from it. People like the format. They like the fact that we just went over some headlines and try to get everybody caught up with what's going on. One of the reasons I wanted to do this is because I do know that people work, people have a life, and it's hard to keep up with things that are going on. And so it's been a very what's the word I'm looking for? Crazy start to 2024. So I was like, let's keep up with this and see what's going on. All right, so let's just see. I'm just waiting for a few folks waiting for my co-host to come on tonight. Hey, Darren, how you doing, buddy? But, folks did like it, so I was like, you know what? And then through the week, people asked me if I was going to go live this week, and I said, yeah, we will. So I decided to go ahead and do it again. So hopefully we'll have a great show for you tonight. Let's see. If you want to come on camera, let me know, and as long as there's a little bring them on camera under people's names, some people's names, I don't know if it's because you might be using a computer or maybe just a tablet or something, but sometimes it doesn't come up to bring some people on camera. I can't help that. I don't know what that's about, so I want to apologize for that. So, hey Jerry, Gary, how you doing? Jeff, good evening. Joe and Fran, welcome. Like I said, let's just give us a few minutes to get going. We are going to be bringing some information to you guys tonight. April's going to come on and do an update on what's going on in the Alamance County here in North Carolina, the Alamance County School Board. I hope folks pay attention to that because those things are also going on in your school boards as well. So if you're a parent, it's really good to make sure that you know what's going on in your school boards, because we know that they are definitely trying to indoctrinate and hurt our kids. So you might want to make yourself aware of that. And Lori is going to come on here this evening, and she's going to talk a little bit about Maui, the updates that she has there. She lives there, so it's eyewitness, fact, truth that's coming from her. Good evening, Kate. How are you doing? So, let's see. Somebody said, hope you start doing it every week. Well, I don't know. We'll see how that goes. I don't want to be like Rick and do something every Saturday night. Rick Fair, and God bless him. You know, he's been on every Saturday night for 18 years or some crap like that. Hey, Lori. Okay, so let's see if we can get Lori. Let's see. It doesn't say bring Lori on cam. No, don't do that to me. Let's see. Oh, it went away. Oh, crap. Sorry, guys. Let's see. I apologize. Let's see. Okay. Y'all just bear with me for a second. Lori, for some reason, it's not saying for you to come on camera. That sucks. I don't know if it's because you're using a computer or what. So, All right. Well, I tell you what, I'm just going to go ahead and get into it. And as things come up, notifications come up for me, I'll go ahead and bring them on camera. Also, if I get interrupted this evening, I've got a cat out here. Her name is Skitty. She likes to jump up in my lap, so maybe you guys will see Skitty this evening. she's my conspiracy cat. Yeah. So, all right, Lori. Yeah, see if you switch devices, see if it works that way. I appreciate that, Kate. Thanks for joining in this evening. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and let you guys know this information that I'm giving you guys tonight is coming. Lori wants to join you on what? Here we go. And accept. Add. This is completely live and unscripted, folks, so there will be there will be technical difficulties. Hey, Lori.
Hey, hi everyone.
Good evening. Welcome to our little soiree here this evening. How are you doing tonight?
Great, great, great. How are you?
I am good. I almost canceled this evening only because I had 4 grandkids here from about 3:30 to 7 o'clock. Laurel, we can't take a video call. It's about warming me out. But I was like, nope, I made the commitment. Let's go ahead and do this. So I know you said you had some family stuff you were taking care of this evening.
I should be okay. I should be okay. I did dinner in advance and I'm good.
Okay. Your volume went down a little bit.
Oh.
Oh, we can't do a video call. Laurel's trying to do a video call, and
how about now?
It's still a little low.
I wonder if
it was working good when you first came on.
Let me go. All
Folks
right.
In the chat, can you hear Lori pretty good?
Hello, testing. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, it's still low. I don't know what happened.
It's on full blast. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what it is either. And it's not my phone, okay. Okay, so he says, all right, he says a little low.
I wonder why I can't get on my computer. You had that problem before, huh?
Yeah. I don't know what Laurel's trying to do. Laurel's trying to call in right now. And Laurel, if you're watching, I can't do a video call right now. All right, so Dwayne said that you're okay here. And Jeff says it's okay. Let's go ahead and let's do your part this evening since we're waiting on everything. Now, how close do you live to where the events went down in Maui?
Well, don't forget, we have 2. We have Upcountry Fires and then the Lahaina Fire. So okay. I was right in the middle. I'm right in the middle of the Upcountry Fires, and then I'm about 45 minutes away from Lahaina. 45
minutes.
Yeah. Okay. I wish I could show you a picture off my balcony. You know, I can see right down the coast to where it is.
Oh really?
I can see. Yeah, I can see it, but I can't. But it's a long drive to get there.
All right. Now, for the viewers, can you let them know what it was like that night it was happening, or during the time it was happening that day?
Well, the fire started up country, so I was in the middle. There was 3 fires around me, and so I had my bags packed for a week. I had 3 backpacks ready to go on the couch, just ready to be evacuated. So we were really, the communication was all through social media. There was nothing, we weren't being told anything. And so my brother, actually, the morning of the 8th, he was, can you hear me?
Yeah.
He actually was working on the other side of Lahaina. So at 6:30 in the morning, he was driving through Lahaina when the first fire started. And so then he was working on the other side of Lahaina. After work, he was driving back, and by now, they said that first fire went out, and after the firefighters left, then it reignited, and he came back and he got routed off of the main bypass, the main road. They routed him down to Front Street where everything happened. Like, they closed the road on him, just like what everybody says. They closed the road and made him drive down Front Street. And he got down there about 4:30, and he was watching. He has to think back now about all the people that he drove by, because as he's watching in his rearview mirror, he said it was like a microwave blast that was just so powerful that it was just like gone. I mean, he didn't know how bad it was going to be, but he got out right before they blocked the freeway, the bypass, to get back on. So they routed him down Front Street, and he went all the way through the other side, and then they closed that highway so nobody could get in or out. And he happened to make it. When he got home, he said, "I don't think Lahaina will be there tomorrow." But we had no idea. Nobody knew. Even the mayor didn't know till the next day. At 6 o'clock the next day, the mayor was saying, "Oh, we got the roads open," not even knowing that people were dead everywhere.
Wow.
It's mind-boggling. It's beyond what anybody can even imagine.
All right, so we know so far that the residents, they've been offered no money from the federal government. Is that correct?
Everything that you listen to from the government has not panned out. But all these people that have been put in hotels, they have nowhere to go. They have no choice but to accept a hotel room. That automatically throws them in FEMA's system. FEMA's paying for their hotel, so they're screwed right there. They're stuck they're in the system. There's no way to. So right now what's happening is, Lahaina, we just had major storms. And so now we have all the debris, the whole town, all of that debris is being washed into the ocean. So there's a huge push to get a dump site where they can haul everything to it. They picked Olawalu, which is just like 6 miles, not even 6, just up the road. And it's right next to the ocean. And that is the most pristine coral. It's where Maui's where the heart of all vegetation and mammals and ocean. And they want to put this dump site in Olawalu. And we had a meeting yesterday, 12 hours, and they passed it. Because really, there's not really a solution, because they've got to get it out of Lahaina, because the longer all the debris sits in Lahaina, every storm that comes is blowing it into the ocean, so they got to remove it. So supposedly it's going to be a temporary dump site, and it's a mess. It really is. But then, we need to get it cleaned up so that the people can get back to their property. So this is how bad the communication is. Right before we came on, the county of Maui is on live right now for right of entry passage for people. They're having a live meeting right now for the right of passage. They didn't even announce it or tell. So every time they come up with a new idea, and then they pass these, everybody wants it. Nobody knows what they're doing. Nobody gets any warning that they're planning on doing anything. They have meetings in private. They don't, we're not, just so everybody knows, Maui is a county. So we don't have like city council. Everything is county. So anything you want to look at, go to county of Maui. But the council meeting yesterday that lasted 12 hours, at the end, when they finally did the vote, it was it's just 8 board members that are making this decision, from all the experts from FEMA and Red Cross and EPA and the Army Corps of Engineers. And I mean, it's a huge production. The thing is, this Olawalu dump site, they've been building it 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. My brother, they wanted him to work there and he refused. They haven't passed any. They did yesterday. They approved it. It's been going for 3 weeks. They've been building this dump site for at least 3 weeks before. But yet, all the people that lost their home, they can't get a single permit to put up a tiny home on any property. Even if somebody says, "Hey, I want to give you some property, just and here I'll give you a tiny home and you can put it here," the county won't give them a permit to do it. But yet this Alawalu dump site is in full bore, and it just got passed, even though it just got passed yesterday, approved.
Wow. All right, hang on just a second, Laura. I got a few questions I want to ask you. Laurel, you requested to come on. I hit to add you, and it looked like it was adding you, but then it dropped it again. So if you want to try to resend that request, then I can go ahead and try to click from here. And sorry about not being able to take calls, just wasn't able to make a call while we were doing a video. All right, so let's get back to this Lahaina thing. Now, so I have a couple of questions. Are the residents who survived, are they able to go back to their land in any fashion? Can they go back and check to see what their places look like?
They mapped it all out and they let people go. It was more than some still haven't, but they did this plan where section 1, you could show up to look at your land, but you were escorted. They didn't get to just, it's not like you can just drive to your house and see what's left. You have to be taken there with officials, and they let people over the last few weeks, probably the last 3 weeks, they let people go in and sift for anything they could find to see what was left. But it's closed. They can't, that was it. They went in. They haven't even let the insurance adjusters. So these people are all making mortgage payments on houses, have no house. They won't let the insurance adjusters in there to go look, to file a claim. I mean, it's as crazy as you can. I mean, it's crazier than I can even imagine. So all these people, they say a family a day leaves. I mean, they're holding out as long as they can, but they're leaving. They can't stay. And like this week, I saw a post that said Red Cross has been notified that all the people at such and such hotel need to be out in 48 hours. These people just get moved from hotel to hotel. Like, where's all the money? Like, millions and millions and millions of dollars has come here, but it hasn't gone to the people at all. So they just keep getting kicked out of the hotels. So they have occupied the beach. I don't know if you've seen Kaanapali Beach. It's like tent city. Like, a lot of the displaced are living on the beach, and they call it fishing for housing. And I don't know if that's where everybody's going to go, but I know they're hoping that if enough debris is removed off of Lahaina, if they're kicked out of the hotel and on a street, they're going to get to their property and occupy their property one way or another. So that, I mean, how could the government kick them out and give them no place to go when they have property and tell them, no, you can't go to your property? It's not going to happen. So,
that's crazy.
That's what's coming. So the hope is that the property, the toxic waste, the big stuff has been removed. And we're even thinking of possible getting containers, and each property could have a container or two, and then they could put all the debris in those containers and store it until they can find a place to move it to. And because they got to get the land cleaned up, but then they got to be able to get back in there too, so that whether they live, they'd rather live in tents on their property than, I mean, it's a mess.
So let me ask you this, knowing how many rabbit holes you've been down, what do you think, and there's a lot of people that have talked about it, but what do you think they're trying to do with that land there and the people there?
They don't want the people here. It doesn't matter. Like, they are doing everything to make it where the people have, it seems to be that west side. Like even the people that get approved for housing, like we have a housing shortage before this, so like we don't have houses, but they've tried to get a lot of short-term rentals to go long-term, and then they approve people, you know, one by one to get a place. So for instance, my friend, because she has 2 kids, she approved for an apartment, a studio apartment in Wailuku, which is not on the west side, a studio apartment for her and her 2 boys for $4,000 a month. And she feels bad because her friends that are single without dependents, they're just still stuck in hotels getting moved one, you know. So back to your question. What was your question?
Question was, what do you think the government's end game is with all this?
It's to get them out. So as they do get put into a home, it's not on the west side. They want them gone. They do not want them on the west side. They want that property. I don't know why, but you know, it's they just don't want them there. They don't.
Wow.
You know.
All right. So another question I have is, I've heard that this area, Lahaina, has some very what's the word I'm looking for? A lot of spiritual meaning to the people that live there. And from what I understand, it's been generations of families that have lived there. Is that correct?
That's correct. It was the kingdom of Hawaii. That's where the king lived. I mean, and the queen. So all of Hawaii is sacred ground. It's like the heart of the earth. Like, that's why people come here. And when you come here, there's a different feeling. It's completely different. The people, as much as what they're going through, they're still 100% about love. You know, you don't see them out, you know, I mean, I can't imagine what would happen in a normal town on the mainland if something like this, you know.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah, and they still operate out of love, but they give, their culture is just amazing. Everything goes back to the Aina, the land. The land, you know, if the government and the tourists were gone, they would live off the land. And Lahaina was the kingdom of Hawaii, and it is it's very historical, and it is all generational. But so they have in Hawaii, the government is supposed to, they have Hawaiian land, and all the Hawaiians are on a list to get their own land back, and they die before they ever get their land back. They have stolen the land, and all the Hawaiians are on a list to get land.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Even though it's supposed to be a state now. Okay, hold on. Okay. When did the kingdom? I didn't know we were going into go into a Hawaiian lesson, but this is interesting. I like this, and we'll get to the news blast, folks. I promise. When did the kingdom of Hawaii? When did it start? Do you know?
I don't have all the. I'm not good with the history of it. It was. I better not say dates, but
that's fine. That's fine. I just didn't know. It's just something I didn't know. So I figured I'd ask.
They came. You know, the military came and forced the queen to sign off the land. I mean, it was a forced takeover, and that was I want to say late 1800s, maybe early 1900s. But and the people have been fighting ever since. I mean, like all the telescopes up on top of all the volcanoes.
Yeah.
You know, they have huge. This is the biggest telescopes in the world, and other things. They were supposed to have a lease to use that land, and when the lease ran out, they were supposed to get off of it. That's why last year there was a huge thing on Mauna Kea where the Hawaiians protested, and they would get. I mean, it went on for months where the Hawaiians were protesting because the government didn't close down. They didn't renew a lease, but yet they still occupy the land. And so what's happening here now is people are, hi Laurel.
Hi, Lori. Oh, what a hassle this was tonight. Anyways, I've been listening. I just didn't get through.
All right.
So land right now, homes are being sold here. There was supposed to be like a moratorium. Nobody could raise prices. Rent could, rentals were not to go up. They're selling homes to people mainlanders or whatever. People off of from other places are coming in and buying the property and taking advantage of this FEMA rental thing. A 3-bedroom house is $10,000 a month. So they're coming in and snatching up the land, renting the property out. FEMA's paying for it, and all the land is getting bought up. And the governor said that he would make sure that didn't happen, and that's not. It's a land grab, 100%.
We just had John said Kingdom of Hawaii was united in 1790 by and legally annexed by the U.S. in the 1890s. Okay, thank you, John, for sharing that information with us. That's what this is about, folks. We're going to talk about some things tonight, and if you can get to your information quick, if we don't have an answer or we don't know, you can let us know. So that's pretty cool. Well,
US took over
it's just
in 1890. Yeah.
What's that?
I was just agreeing. Yeah, the United States took over in 1890. And they're fighting. It's still like the Hawaiians every single day are fighting to get their land back. I mean, it has not stopped.
Wow.
So they got so many fights on their hand right now. They got the toxic dump site that's going to destroy the whole reef. And then they've got no place to live. And
you know what this kind of reminds me of? I went and watched Avatar 2 because I just never saw Avatar 1. And I was like, let me go check this out and see what this is about. And it was about destroying the outsiders coming in and destroying this beautiful place where all these people lived for centuries. It was like the spiritualistic center for them. And they came in and destroyed it and want to take it over. That's what this sounds like.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean,
don't know why they want. I don't know what the West Side why they want that so much, or if that's just the start.
Probably just the start.
The fires up country are still burning in the ground.
Really?
They pop up. Yeah, we have fires all the time. They just pop up. So there's something because they all came. The trees burned from the inside out. So,
right.
The ground in some of the gulches, and then the gulches go underneath for a long way. So like a couple miles away, there will be just a fire pops up. We have fires almost every day.
Wow.
Like a tree stump out in the middle of nowhere all by itself all of a sudden catches fire.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Well, thank you so much, Lori, for all that. And I know we got some more that we could probably ask on that. First, let's go ahead and recognize Laurel. Laurel, thank you for, I don't know what you did.
It was doing, it was everybody else that has a live or that was on, I could get 30 seconds of you and my screen was going like this and going to things I didn't even want to see. So I closed it down twice and started again, third time lucky.
Oh my God. Yeah, I saw you trying to call in. I was like, Laura, I can't take a call right now. I'm on live. Well, we got you here. Did you have any questions or any information you have on Lahaina since we're talking about that right now?
No, I've talked to Lori a lot about it, and one thing I will say is I am so proud of her.
Yes.
And the work she's doing there, my God. I mean, that's the thing. We want to make a difference, right? She got people together and found a car for somebody. She got electric bikes for another couple. She's just been helping the people out. And that's what we all need to do. We have to help each other and show love. That's what the whole movement is about, showing love for our fellow neighbor and helping and doing what we can. And Lori right now is my hero. She's doing all that.
Yeah.
You know, I went, you can find everything online, right? And looking, you got the Nextdoor app, you got Facebook, Instagram. Everybody wants to help, but but how do you help? So one day I just decided, you know what? I'm going over to Kaanapali Beach and I'm going to talk to the people and I'm going to find out how I can help. Besides, I mean, you can go volunteer at the hubs. I mean, the hubs are how they live. There's hubs where they get their food and their everything. You can volunteer any day of the week at a hub. But beyond that, there's people that are transitioning from a hotel to a house maybe, or the people that are on the beach. So anyway, I went over there and just started talking to him. And I just met this girl and found out, she wouldn't. They have a lot of pride, the Hawaiians, but they're so humble, and I had to drag it out of her. What can I do? Oh, I just need some cereal bowls. Okay. And then she finally told me, I can't, until I can get a car, because she lost everything. She has no car. She's got 2 kids, and she has to get to work every day and get her kids to school every day with no car. And so she said, a bicycle would be really helpful. And so I put the word out for a bike, and the whole community, it's on Nextdoor, it's by your neighborhood, and everybody on there wants to help. It's just, that was just one way. You can go on there and say, hey, I'm looking for a bicycle if anybody has an inexpensive one. And then I got private messages that said, check your messages. And a woman, totally anonymous, didn't want to be known, didn't want she had a nice car that she was trading in, a 2018 SUV, really nice. She just said, you know what, I'd rather give it to her than. So instead of a bicycle, April, my new friend April, she got a car. And then
Wow.
And then all the other people were offering bicycles, and then a bicycle shop offered to donate 2 e-bikes. Which we're doing.
All I have to say about that is what a difference in somebody that cares and somebody that just wants a TV shot. Remember right after the fire what Oprah did? Oprah went in with people that were burnt, offering them pillows for Pete's sake and blankets. Billionaire, multi-billionaire. She should have been buying them all new houses.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous the difference you see in humble people that have nothing and to offer, and we're all willing to help, and then these people that are billionaires that don't do a damn thing.
I will say that The Rock and Oprah did get a lot of blowback for doing that.
Yeah, they did.
They got
I will
a lot
tell
of.
you one reason. The question most people ask is, why don't you hear from the parents, or why don't you hear? They're they didn't even want the property. They didn't want Lahaina to even be cleaned. Everything is so sacred. They don't use cameras. They're not doing selfies. That's why you don't hear anything. They're not ready to talk, and it's a whole different mindset when it happens to you. But I just want to let you know that's why you don't hear from the parents or from anybody. They're just. That's not their culture, isn't, and they just don't do cameras. They don't take. It's like they don't want pictures of, like, their biggest thing when they opened up to tourists, which they begged them not to open up 2 months later, but of course nobody listened. They begged, and the very soon as they open, people are stopping and taking pictures with Lahaina in the background. Tourists on, and they just that. So whenever I do anything, I don't take pictures of anything. The only reason I had the picture with the e-bikes is because the bike shop did it. I haven't taken pictures with anybody.
So what's this we hear about missing children in Lahaina? Are there missing children there? Do you know? Do you have any thought on that? Any information on that?
Um, out of respect for the Hawaiians, I say they're either not ready to talk. I mean, they're so devastated. I personally only know of 4 missing people,
Okay.
but the people I talk to, I mean, nobody really talks about it, but I've had several say, Lori, there's more people that are missing, right? And I said, obviously there is, but it's just an
Can't speak to that.
unknown. Can't really speak to it, and when they're ready, they will. I
Wow.
I don't think it's well, it goes both ways, but I really don't think there's a bunch of kids missing. Like, I don't.
Well, one thing I can say from talking with you about this is I can have a greater respect for the Hawaiian people, and that they want to just basically keep their privacy. They're doing everything with the tragedy they've gone through. They're conducting themselves out of love, it seems like, and they're just getting screwed over by the government.
Completely screwed over.
Now, that just goes to what we've been talking about and what we've been fighting for is we can see that these folks, they don't have their freedoms, and they're supposed to be a state of the United States. So let's take that into the mainland, into Alaska. Folks, we have been losing our freedoms in this country. And we have an eyewitness account right there in Hawaii. It's happening. But you don't hear any of that in the news. When's the last time you heard a story about Hawaii on the news?
Yeah, I don't know what you guys hear. Martha had a question. It did target. It targeted the oldest home, the oldest town on the island, that used to be the Kingdom of Hawaii, and that was multi-generational homes for hundreds of years. So it definitely was the Hawaiians that were targeted.
Wow.
That makes me so sad because that's one of my very favorite places in the world is Maui. My daughter got married there and been there quite a few times, and I just can't even imagine that happening there.
Wow.
But if you do some research, you will find this has been going on forever. The immigrants are targeted because they're so connected to their land. So any of them and their land is apparently is the sacred land that the elites want.
Well, doesn't surprise me. So,
anything that's beautiful and like paradise, right? That's what they want.
I can't figure out what the outcome is. I don't know what their end game is. I really don't.
Well, keep us up to date. We're going to end up doing more big picture episodes and more of these lives. So if you ever get more updates and you got some information you want to get out to folks, just let me know. We'll get it done. So,
I will say, people always want to know what they can do, and this is, because you don't send stuff to Red Cross or whatever, but you can, since you're all on Facebook, you can go to Adopt a Family Maui, and you can see families on there, and some of them will just have like an Amazon account where you can go buy stuff that they need and send it to them. So Adopt a Family Maui is a really good, because then it's just
okay. So that's on Facebook.
Uh-huh.
And they're actually getting that stuff.
It goes It goes straight to them. Yeah, it goes. It's the group that the head of the group. They vet all of the people on there, but it's all just.
Oh dang. Okay, so folks, if you want to help out the folks in Hawaii, it was Adopt a. Was it again, Lori?
Adopt a Family.
Maui.
Maui.
Okay, and it's a Facebook group.
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right, folks. So go check that out. I know there have been folks that have been asking, how can we help? and you don't want to give to the Red Cross. They're crooked as crap. I think that's the biggest humanitarian. Is that the biggest one going on there right now? Humanitarian aid.
You know what? I don't even trust some of the local. I mean, it's hard to know. You got to see who's running it. So I just prefer going straight to a family. And it's overwhelming. I knew people needed help, and how can I help? It's such a huge thing, but every single person that gets help is one at a time. You can help one person at a time, and they appreciate it. They will probably invite you to come and have a vacation and stay with them when they get their house built.
Hey, that would be cool. That'd be cool. That sounds like something. No, from what you've been telling us, it sounds like that would be in their character to do something like that.
They're so humble and loving. It's maybe someday I'll do it.
Maybe what?
Oh, maybe someday I'll be able to video in somebody's home and see the Hawaii. I'll give you an example. When my friend was dying of cancer, I wanted a prayer blanket. So I just put on Facebook, does anybody know anything about prayer blankets? Or I want to have a quilt. I want to hire somebody to make a quilt, or I just put it out there. This woman took it upon her, made the whole blanket and gave it to me for free. I was just like, and she had everybody in the community pray over it first, because my friend was dying of cancer. And so the whole community got together and prayed over this prayer blanket, this quilt, and then gave it to me. And then I took it to the mainland to this friend of mine.
What an awesome story. That's awesome. I think one lesson that we could all take from this is, if we remember back when we were growing up, and even, a generation before us, everybody knew their neighbor. Everybody knew who everyone was, and the communities were closer. And over time, our communities have become far apart from one another. Hell, I literally, and I'm at fault for this too, I literally can't tell you the name of the guy that lives across the lake over there. I don't know what his name is.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, we have an old dam that blocks the water for our lake, and it was built back in like 1804 or some crap like that, and it's starting to fall apart at the bottom. And so the guy that we bought our house from years ago, he's the one that's tend to that lake in the dam, and he ended up pulling everybody together this summer to go work on the dam. And it was actually really cool, because I was meeting people in the community that I had no clue who they were. And I think that's something that, I've also thought about going door to door, trigger, going door to door and just letting folks know, hey, this is my name, and just getting to know my neighbors, because you never know, there may come a time where you might need to rely on your neighbors.
Yeah, it's important. I know all my neighbors. I do. That's
cool. All right, so I'm gonna hit a couple things in the chat that I saw. Welcome, Michelle. Michelle went to high school with me. She was one of my very first friends from the 9th grade. So she's on here tonight, and she just scolded me and said that I need to stop smoking, that she did quit last January, and our other friend Lisa had quit too. So Michelle, trust me, I'm really trying. I think it's going to hit me on the financial side, because I can't see paying $7 for a pack of cigarettes. So that's it's ridiculous. So, but
is that what they
anyway.
are now? Is that how much they are? Is that how much they are now?
Yeah, I pay for 2 packs. I pay $13.69 for 2 packs.
I think in Canada, I don't smoke, but I think in Canada, somebody told me they were over $10 a pack now.
I wouldn't doubt it. So every time I go to the store to get some, I'm like, here. And so I'm working on it. I'm down. I've cut down a lot. So these I'm trying to work on. The other stuff, yeah, leave that alone. That's my medicine. So,
Can I just say one positive back on the Maui
sure.
thing? I mean, it's all doom and gloom, and you can take this however you want it. But they did just approve $500 million to help get people in homes for 18 months. However, that doesn't happen until July.
Wow.
So I mean, it's been 5 months that nobody has a place to live, and so I don't know if that's really something to cheer about, because they should be in. Let me give one more fact. 87% of property up on the other side of the west side up, it's all is short-term rental. So they're sitting there empty or being rented out by the week. 87% of the properties.
Wow.
They only need like 3,000. Well, not 3,000. They only need like I don't remember how many. There's like 5,000 people right now that are still, or 6 that are still, homeless. But right there, those short-term rentals could give everybody a home. So
Wow.
why they have to wait 2 or 3 more months for this 500 million, and what are they going to build them? Little cracker boxes? And then are they going to ever get back on their land? I don't know. But I just wanted to say, because that's the most
Wow.
latest news. You might see 500 million being awarded to, but it's really not. It's really, why isn't it now? Why aren't they? I mean,
It's kind of like
I don't
a Band-Aid, but you got to wait for the Band-Aid. We got to put some stuff on the wound before you get the Band-Aid. That's what it sounds like to me.
yeah.
All
Anyway,
right.
okay, let's go to the news blast.
Let's go to the news blast. Okay, guys. So let's go into this. I've got my girls here to help me with this. So there's some things on the list that I haven't researched yet. I did want to start off tonight with Lori in Hawaii, so we can get an update on that. So thank you, Lori, for all that information. All right, so the information that I've pulled this from is, like I said last week, it's from Enoch. Enoch's News Blast. It's a channel on Telegram. He's also on Truth Social, and I'm not sure if he's back on X or not. I don't know. But he puts these things out, and so I really hope that he has no problem with me sharing it and us talking about it, because that's one thing that we have learned as digital soldiers is the sharing of information is so very important, because there's so much going on that it's hard to keep up with, and this is what they want. They want us to be, so to speak, kept under the mushroom to where we don't know what's going on. It's like in Hawaii. They don't want people knowing what's going on there. And so it's important that we look at these. Now, remember, these headlines, what I want you to do with these is, if you do find something that's interesting, take it and go do the research on it. And then you can come back in the comments later when I post this to YouTube and say, hey, Jimmy, this is what I found out about, or whatever. Because like I said, there's some things on here I haven't been able to look at. So it was a crazy first week of the year, and the second week of the year was just as crazy. So we'll start with Monday, January 8th. And the first thing we had was an explosion at the historic Fort Worth Hotel, injures 21. Now, I haven't seen a lot more come out about that. Have you guys heard anything about that? Any decodes, anything interesting on that?
Just it was a gas leak or something. Didn't hear anything
Okay.
else.
All right.
Seems like there's a fire every single day. It's hard to keep up with them.
Yeah, it really is. All right, and so we may end up flying through these pretty quick, folks, because we may not have a comment on them or whatever, but hopefully you guys can get what we're doing. Revealed, special counsel Jack Smith was targeted by attempted swatting on Christmas. Now, do you guys know what swatting is?
Yeah, isn't that where?
Okay, y'all do. Okay.
Yeah.
So for the folks that don't know what swatting is, it is a very dangerous tactic that evil people use to try to take out their opposition. All right, so basically what it is, let's say, for example, maybe I was upsetting somebody in Washington and they wanted to, kind of silence me, so to speak. An anonymous person would call into the local police department and say that there was some crazy stuff going on at this address, and we heard gunshots and we heard screaming and all this stuff. Well, the police are going to take that phone call very seriously, and they're going to probably show up at that property guns a-blazing.
SWAT team.
Yeah. They're going to show up and hoping, well, not to say hoping, but in preparation for meeting somebody at the door with their weapon. That's what, because you think about it, if I'm here at the house by myself and I hear somebody coming up the driveway and I don't know who it is, I've had no call or whatever, I've got my weapons by my side. So let's say I were to pick up my weapon just because I hear something coming up the road, but then the cops see it. He's got a weapon. Boom, I'm gone.
And oftentimes they call it in, shots fired at this location, and so they're waiting to see somebody with a weapon.
Exactly. So that's what swatting is. And so they've done it to Marjorie here the last 6 months. I know it's been done to Marjorie Taylor Greene a couple of times. Now we have the special counsel, Jack Smith. Just recently, there was a bomb threat for that judge that's overseeing the Trump civil case. Now, again, you got to take some of this with a grain of salt because you don't know what is actually true or false on who got swatted. Because, again, it's an information war. They could say, they can make up something. They want Trump supporters to look bad. So they may say, oh, this was called in on a Democratic person, and it was done by a MAGA. So that's what they're going to try to do with that stuff. Okay. Any comments?
Nope.
Okay, cool.
You did that well.
All right. Driver crashes into the White House exterior gate. Seems like that's happened a lot here.
Get any information on it. Just hear this driver crashes into the gate and nothing. I mean, did you see anything on the news? I didn't.
I didn't see anything.
And, yeah, and I mean, they've talked about it, and then one day, and it's gone. It's totally washed. Nobody hears about it.
Yeah. It seems like that's happened a lot over the last year, though. It seems like there's been several folks crash into the Watchtower gate or something. All right. Bottled water contains up to 100 times more plastic than estimated, new study says.
Yeah.
Ugh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Trump co-defendant alleges improper relationship between Fani Willis and fellow Georgia prosecutor. So, it's kind of, well, we're going to get into that too about the one up there in New York as well. So this is down in Georgia. Fani Willis hired Nathan Wild, which is her lover, to be the prosecutor on the Trump case there. And they've been known. They went to Naples. They went to the Caribbean. They've been traveling all over the place on the Georgia taxpayers' dimes. So, I got a feeling something's going to happen with her. We're going to get to those, John. Something's going to happen with her where she's going to be found where she can't try the case anymore.
I mean, this is a perfect example of what goes on in Washington, D.C. They hire somebody, pay them, like this attorney, this guy, attorney, he wasn't even a criminal attorney.
He's never tried a felony case.
And so she pays him all this money, and then he takes, and it's all taxpayer money. This is taxpayer money that she paid to this attorney that happens to be her boyfriend, and then he wines and dines her and takes her on all these extravagant vacations. That's what's going on there, and we're paying for everything. And They're all doing it. They're all doing it.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. Yep. Sad. All
What
right.
makes
Oh, go ahead, Laurel.
oh you I was just gonna say I like how we talked about last week. We don't we're I don't support Trump. I'm apolitical.
Right.
I really don't care. I want right and I want wrong. I want truth. I want false. And it just seems so strange to me that all this stuff is starting to come out of, getting things coming out when the Epstein list comes out, and all the narrative is all taken away from everything on the Epstein list and everything to do with Epstein. It's like soon as that Epstein list came out, they're even if they're people that are Democrats, they're going to go against them. They're going against anybody just to save those people on that Epstein list.
Yep. Yeah. We're going to get into more of that, I'm sure. All right, let's go on. House Republicans released contempt resolution against Hunter Biden. That was his contempt, the subpoena that he had a lawful subpoena and he didn't show up. So they released a contempt resolution. There'll be more about that a little bit later. Ecuador declares state of emergency curfew after drug lord escapes prison. Did y'all see those videos from Ecuador?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Yeah, the one video that I saw was a guy looked like he was up on like the fourth floor of an apartment building or whatever, and had the camera pointed to the road, and there was people running up the road, there was people shooting folks. It was crazy, that video. So I don't know exactly what everything is going on there, but apparently we have a drug lord that escaped prison in Ecuador.
Right.
Ah, wow. French Prime Minister resigns. That happened. There's been a lot of resignations in the last 24 hours, folks. Laurel shared with me some information that she found. I put them on my Facebook page just the other day. That has a whole list of resignations. There's a lot
That
of them.
was just in 24 hours.
What's that?
That was only in the past 24 hours.
Correct.
That was a 24-hour time period. So if people want to research and go back and not just look at resignations, look at deaths, look at how many people have suddenly got sick that are young, and even in the music business, the Hollywood stars that all of a sudden are saying, "Oh, I'm not going to act anymore. I'm not going to perform anymore. I'm too sick." But if people just do a little bit of research, it's very interesting how many people are going that way.
Yeah, and there's a lot of political figures that are holding office right now that have said they are not running for office anymore. So what do they know? Because most people that get into Washington, they want to stay there as long as they can because they know that's, easy money for them. So why all of a sudden do we have so many resignations? And going back to what Laurel said, when we woke up to all this stuff started in 2020, even then we were admonished to do the research on resignations and deaths. And they said basically go back to about 2017. And since 2017 till now, the list is freaking long. CEOs, prime ministers, religious leaders, sports figures, actors, actresses. Yeah, there's a lot of people that just kind of just disappeared. So,
Yeah, I was reading an article, and I don't quote me on the numbers, but they were talking about famous people that are dying, and they did statistics of, say, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever. And it basically, the most they ever got was, like really famous people that were dying or sick was usually about 4 or 5 a year that we would hear of. And what did they say this year already? I can't even, it was 34, but I don't remember if that was it's got to be in just a month, because there's been a lot more than 34 maybe for this year. Yeah, this year. It might
just
have been
2024.
yeah, I think so. I think so. It's about 34 that have already died.
Really? 'Cause
Yeah.
I saw a list that came out at the end of December. It says all the celebrities we lost, and it looked like over 100 names, or it was like 100 different profile pictures
Yeah.
of all the
Yeah.
celebrities. Wow.
Well, we've been following that. There's just a thing on YouTube. You can look on YouTube, and you can look under, I think it's famous celebrity deaths, something
Okay.
like that. And if you go onto YouTube, it'll tell you there's a lot that are seeing a lot of CGI right now, because of course with us doing our homework, we kind of know the ones that are gone and been arrested and so on. But there's a lot of them that have their publishers putting their names out there and putting pictures of them. Oh, look at, he's out there cooking in the kitchen with his family and whatever. And you know darn well that's not him.
Yeah, exactly.
So people would really be shocked.
Yeah. Wow. It's a crazy world. All right. 3 more for Monday. We're just on Monday. Supreme Court rejects X-Corp's bid challenging U.S. surveillance disclosures. More Epstein files were unsealed on Monday. And this is the big one for Monday. The tunnel under the Jewish organization's Chabad Lubavitch, if that's how you pronounce that, world headquarters, was discovered. So you got Jews digging tunnels, which come to find out later on, I don't know if it's in the report, and I'll get ahead of myself. Come to find out there were some of the teens that were of the Jewish side. They hired Mexicans to come in and dig those tunnels for them.
We have to be careful here, though, because I don't want to be called anti-Semitic.
Exactly.
Those are Zionists.
Exactly.
Those are Zionists. Most Jews are good people.
Absolutely.
You know, like most of them do not know what's going on. Those are the Zionists that follow the Talmud.
Yeah.
And the Talmud is a very, very vicious, horrible book on killing and calling us goyim, and you know, it's the Zionists, not the actual Jews,
you know,
not all of them.
We don't even have to mention any nationality or anything. The biggest thing to focus on here were tunnels were discovered under a religious facility. And we've talked about tunnels. We've talked about DUMBs, deep underground military bases. We won't get into those this evening. But we have talked about tunnels. Even in our ex-religion, we knew of tunnels that were under the Watchtower headquarters up in Bethel, Brooklyn, New York. And that's where this happened to be, in Brooklyn, New York. They're actually only 2 miles apart. Thanks, Lori, for that information. But they went and filled those tunnels up with cement at the Watchtower headquarters, and that's what these folks were trying to do before they got caught. Wonder what's in. Oh, and speaking of more tunnels, we can go over and look at what the IDF, the Israeli Defense Force, has found in Gaza. The tunnels that Hamas was using to traffic their weapons, people, things like that. And where were their tunnels under? They were under hospitals. They were under schools. They were under people's homes, because that's what they were doing, is using those people as a shield to cover them for their illegal activity. So, and
well, you have.
Yeah, go ahead, Laura.
Oh, sorry.
Laurel.
I was going to say, you have to, under that one that they found on Monday too. It was right across the street from a child care center. So these tunnels, there was I forget the name of it, but if you look into it, it was across the street from where children were. And they pulled out, I mean, we've told people about adrenochrome. We've done shows, we've done the tunnels, we showed it. How we did that a long time ago.
Yep.
Probably people don't remember. And people didn't believe it at that time. But I mean, now this just proves that there are the tunnels. And they try to stick, and when they're pulling out, we actually saw it. They're pulling out bloody mattresses. They down in that tunnel, just like Epstein's Island, they had high chairs. They had cribs. They had all the stuff that you need for children. Where are all those children? Where are the children that they had in that tunnel? Because obviously they did, but there was sure a lot of blood. So people need to really go back and look up adrenochrome. It is it's the most expensive drug in the world.
Or was. And it's not even.
When they could still get it.
Yeah, that's true. But I think they have synthetic.
They do. They got synthetic as well.
Synthetic now, but they're still. I've heard that they still want blood.
Yeah.
They
oh, for sure.
They want their blood because the synthetic's not a blood sacrifice, right? It's all about their blood sacrifices.
Yeah. I think most of us are good-hearted, loving people, and we don't want to really think about that there's that much evil. We have been trying to let folks know, guys, the evil that we're fighting is extreme. You have no clue how evil these people can be. We've seen some things that we don't talk about because it's just, one, I don't want to talk about them because I've seen it and it's disgusting. And two, once you see it, you don't forget it.
Oh, it's in your head. You close your eyes and it's there. I couldn't. Everybody has watched Sound of Freedom.
Yep.
I have seen so much in the past 10 years of what's happened to children, and I've just seen too much that even that I've been told that it was very soft compared to the stuff that we know and we've researched. I can't even watch that. I just anything to do with that just makes my blood boil, and I want to go and hang those people myself when I know what they've done to little children.
Yeah, I know. All right, well, let's move on because that we could talk about this subject the rest of this evening. So, but folks, look up some of the information we've talked about. All right, let's go into Tuesday. Amelia, I'm just going to say Amelia Novs, mother of Melania Trump, passed away at 78 years old. So our love goes out to Melania Trump and her family for the loss of her mother. Securities Exchange Commission agency chief says its X account was hacked. Armed men storm an Ecuador TV studio during a live broadcast. Did y'all see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. Yemen's Houthis launched their largest Red Sea drone and missile attack. Now, I'm going to say on this one, I don't know exactly what's going on over there. I don't know if this is a situation like we believed with what was happening in Ukraine. We don't really know if some of the stuff coming out is legit or not. I'm just going to leave it at that, and we're just going to see how things play out on this one. I don't know. Musk's ex signs content deals with Don Lemon, Tulsi Gabbard, and Jim Rohn. I was kind of shocked that Don Lemon's coming back out and making an appearance.
Yeah.
And over on X.
That's different.
I was surprised about that. But Musk, like him or not, whatever the case may be, he did say he wanted X to be a free speech platform. So if Don Lemon is coming back, well, we know how he was on CNN. So he's a character. Florida declares emergency after tornadoes slam the Panhandle. I did see videos on those. There's been some severe storms lately.
Right now.
Yeah, crazy. Again, just like Monday, on Tuesday, more Epstein documents have been unsealed. Polish police arrest former interior minister and deputy interior minister. So, folks, there's a lot of stuff going on in Poland right now. It looks like the people they've had enough, and they're fighting their government. Media caught on hot mic joking about assassinating Trump. Did you guys see that?
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't actually see it on. I heard that it had happened. I didn't actually see it happen.
Yeah, I heard about it, and I went to the video to where it had them talking about that, and you could hear them. I just want to know. I want those two journalists identified. I would like to know who they were that were talking about this.
I think,
Well, you can bet.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You can bet if that's what I'm saying. It's not that I support him, but everything should be fair. You know, like if they're going to go after him, if they're going to say, if somebody said that about Biden and somebody heard it, what would they be doing to Trump right now? I mean, it just there's no level playing field there.
No, there isn't. And they were referencing, to happen like JFK. That's what that's what they were joking about. But yet we have, and nothing will ever happen to these guys. Just like nothing ever happened to Madonna, who said she thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House. We had Sean Penn saying, "Oh, it's been a long time since an actor's taken out a president." And then you had Kathy Griffin. Y'all know what she was doing. So nothing happens to them. But Lord have mercy if the shoe was on the other
I
foot.
got to check my stove.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Ray Epps sentenced to probation. That's a joke. I think he got like a year probation. I think more's coming down the road for him. And last thing, on Tuesday, Gabriel Attal becomes France's youngest and first openly gay prime minister. So there's that. That was for Tuesday. All right. We're just going to keep moving right along. Wednesday, Trump does a Fox town hall while GOP leftovers do their own debate. So, which Trump rocked that town hall. I think he did a very good job with that. And the ratings were well over what was happening over on CNN with Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis. I've been hearing Trump call him the sanctimonious. Yeah, I've been hearing him call him that's all what I almost said.
Oh, I could tell.
All right. House committees advance contempt of Congress resolution for Hunter Biden. So on Monday they put it in, and on Wednesday they advanced it. Hunter Biden attends the meeting, then leaves the meeting. Did y'all see that?
Yes. And did you see the camera that was filming? There was a camera in the courtroom that wasn't like a normal journalist type camera, or it was a really high tech, and he's doing a documentary. They think that was completely just for the documentary. It was and they were filming for his documentary.
Are you serious?
I've never heard of that.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah. Somebody said, "You notice the camera?" and explained how high tech it was. And then they made that comment. Was this for, I mean, it makes sense. I don't know if it is. I'm just saying, why did he just show up? And then why did he leave before MTG started speaking?
Well, he's afraid of her.
So they got what they needed on camera. I don't know.
Now, I need to go back and look, and I think I was watching And We Know the other night, and they pointed out that he walked out at the 17th minute of being there.
There's a lot of 17s and a lot of 7.8. 7.8 million. It's on everything.
Yeah.
7.8.
Yeah. And for those that don't know why 17 is important, now that we've said it, you're probably going to see it. You'll start noticing it everywhere. But it's the letter of the alphabet. Go check it out. But yeah, that's that whole thing. That's a clown show. All right. Demonstrators disrupt opening day of Colorado State Legislature. Third arrest made in killing of pregnant teen Savannah Soto and boyfriend Matthew Guerrara. I know nothing about that.
I don't
know anything about that. So if y'all are interested in looking that, for those that watch the Datelines and the 48 Hours and all that crazy stuff, Savannah Soto. Yeah, I don't know much about that one. Chris Christie ends the 2024 presidential bid. like he had a freaking shot anyway. Trump said, what did he say at the town hall? He said, they asked him if he would mend fences with folks, and he says, "Yeah, I would. I'm starting to like Chris Christie better."
He is so spot on. You can't get anything. Yeah.
That was hilarious. Okay. Manholes explode near Northeastern University campus in Boston.
Oh, I didn't.
I wonder if there's tunnels there too.
Well, didn't we have manholes blowing up in Jersey and New York last week?
Yep.
I need to look into that one.
Oh, yeah.
Flooding, and it's flooding really bad right now.
Yeah. I need to look into that one. All right. James O'Keefe exposes part of the migrant busing secrets. So for those that don't know, our government is literally putting these people on a bus and sending them to other cities. New York, Chicago, San Francisco, LA, other places too. They're sending them to Republican, quote, strongholds. That's a whole nother story on why they're doing that.
I think that he was at the airport, right? The buses were dropping them off at the airport, and then they all had plane tickets.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're getting all this stuff, and like California said, that they're going to start paying for their health insurance. So they're helping all these illegals out, but they're not doing a damn thing for the folks in Hawaii.
Well, I think it just came out yesterday that I don't know if it was the Texas border. They were saying 5,000 in person. They were getting, the ones that were crossed were getting 5,000 a person, plus everything else.
And a cell phone, yeah.
And a place to stay. We are all, I mean, I'm talking we because U.S. and Canada is the same. So many homeless people, and they're giving hotels to migrants, and letting the poor homeless people die on the streets.
Yep.
It's sad.
That one migrant was videoed on the streets of New York. He's been there 7 months. He's been living in a hotel for 7 months, and they said, "Well, do you get food?" "Oh yeah, we get 3 meals a day."
Yeah.
No, our vets are on the street and are homeless.
Yeah, I was watching it. When I was watching And We Know last night, they have these big, huge tents. I mean, these massive tents that look like Army Field Hospital tents that are housing a lot of these illegal aliens. But the veterans and everybody else, the Americans, they're not getting any help at all.
Well, listen to this one. I just got a video. I just saw a video from Canada today. In my hometown, Edmonton is like with wind chill today, minus 50 degrees. Jesus. And snow, and there was a picture of the Bissell Center, which is a place there that when it gets cold like that, the homeless people can go and go inside and at least stay warm and get a cup of coffee and everything. There were homeless people outside the Bissell Center, and they were probably lined up for about 2 blocks, and it was completely full. They could not get in there. Those poor people are freezing to death, and yet what's happened? Even if they give them an empty building to stay in, but nobody seems to help these poor people.
Wow.
Yeah. We have empty shopping malls here. Why aren't the shopping malls being converted into housing? Or there's
There's so much more that can be done to help people right now, but that's not what these folks' agenda is. They want us suffering, and like I said, we could do a whole show on just that subject too, and the many different agendas that's tied to the illegal immigration. But one thing I will say about that real quick, they talk about all this money that they need to help fight it and all this thing. It's real simple fix. Close the damn border. Not one politician has been saying that.
Mhm.
Not one politician right now. None. So I guess the wall wasn't such a bad idea now, was it, folks? So, but all right, let's finish up Wednesday. LGBTQ pride leader arrested in Canada for child sex crimes. Oh, surprising. That's happened a lot. Judge rescinds permission for Trump to give his own closing argument at his civil fraud trial. We'll talk a little bit more about that here in a minute. Adin Kanto, designated survivor and X-Men actor, dies at age 42, like Laurel was saying. Trump 14th Amendment ballot eligibility challenger arrested. Hold on. Trump 14th Amendment ballot eligibility challenger was arrested on tax fraud charges. Why does it seem like every time somebody wants to get him on something, they're found out that they're guilty as hell? Michael Cohen, Avenatti.
Almost seems like it was planned, huh?
Yeah. Seems like they're all, huh. That's kind of funny. And oh, look, now we got Fannie Willis and her little problems that she's got going on. And Mrs. What's that chick's name up in New York?
Letitia.
Peekaboo.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Letitia James.
Yeah, Letitia James. Ugh. Anyway, all right, that's Wednesday. All right, let's move along because let's go ahead and try to finish this up here in about the next 10 minutes or so. Thursday, Trump makes closing argument on final day of New York fraud trial. And I haven't seen any video of that yet. I just know that he basically didn't he tell the judge off, basically, sorta. Do y'all know anything about that?
I haven't heard.
I
know he couldn't say what he wanted to say.
Yeah.
He came out and did after the court case, he came out and gave a little, maybe a 10-minute, saying how unfair it was, but I didn't really see anything in the court.
The only thing that I can remember that was being said was the judge told the lawyers to get their client under control.
Right. That's all
I heard that, so I'll just have to go back and check that out. Navy chopper crashes into San Diego Bay. I didn't hear about that. U.S. and U.K. launch strikes on the Houthi rebels in Yemen. So apparently there were strikes that were made. Alex said, I'm not going to talk much about that until more comes out about that, but I got some ideas already on that whole thing. Aaron Rodgers appears on the Pat McAfee show day after his supposed exit. Aaron Rodgers, for those that know, he was the ex-Green Bay Packer quarterback, and I think he went to the Jets this year and got injured like 10 minutes into the game or some crap like that. But he's been speaking out a lot about the jabs and some other things too. So I don't know. He's I guess he's red pilling that side of the world.
Him and Jimmy Kimmel had a thing.
Yeah, because didn't he say that Kimmel was on the Epstein list and Kimmel got after him for it? Something like that? Yeah, of course he did.
Kimmel actually made a wisecrack to Aaron. I can't remember what it was about. And so Aaron just came back and said, well, the Epstein list is coming out, kind of implying that maybe Jimmy's on it. Jimmy went nuts. He went nuts.
Yeah.
And then he was on it.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. All right, let's see. Hunter Biden pleads not. Do what? Somebody say something?
Sorry, go ahead. My phone keeps falling.
Hunter Biden pleads not guilty at an arraignment on tax charges. Of course he did. U.S. failed to track $1 billion in Ukraine military aid. They seem to lose money.
Yeah, they lose a lot of money, don't they? And lose a lot of weapons.
They did this on September 10th on 2001 when Donald Rumsfeld came out and said, hey, we can't find $2.3 trillion that we just don't know where it went. And the very next day,
Yep.
Everybody forgot about it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even hear about this one. So, and I think it was I think it was Rand Paul that actually wanted to put something in one of the bills or something that said they wanted to audit the money that was going to Ukraine, and of course that was shot down. So, yeah, it's called money laundering, folks. That's what's going on there. U.S. Army employee Janet Yamanikin Mello has been indicted for allegedly stealing $100 million from the United States Army. I didn't even know that one. I didn't know that one. Texas National Guard has seized control of Shelby Park in Eagle Pass. And the last one on Thursday, I'm going to come back to that one. Last one was Argentina inflation surges past 200%. Okay, so let's go back to the Texas National Guard has seized the control of the Shelby Park in Eagle Pass. I do think this is a situation to where if the media wants to and they play it right, they could use this as a way to push one of their agendas as far as like pushing a civil war. And the reason I say that is because you have the Texas National Guard that has seized control of this park, Shelby Park, which was under the control at the time by the feds. Texas has replaced it. Biden has taken it to court to say they can't do that. So it's pitting two American forces, American National Guard, American troops against each other.
Yeah.
We'll have to see how this plays out. But this is the whole way that this is one of the methods that they use to try to start something. And think about this. We had the trailer for the Civil War come out. That's coming out with the movie release in April.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and by the way, I did put it on my Facebook. I don't know if any of you guys have seen it, but there's a trailer for another new movie called ISS. This is not on here, but it's a show that's supposed to take place on the International Space Station, and war breaks out on Earth. And you have the Russians and the Americans, and each one have been told to seize control of the International Space Station by any means necessary. So they're pitting the American and the Russians against each other. Why is it always the Russians? And two, it's up in space. They're always pushing that and pushing war on Earth. Another predictive programming.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway. All right, last one. Y'all got anything to say on any of that?
I'm waiting to hear the rest of them because I know there's more
this
stuff.
is the last one. All right, it's Friday. U.S. conducts another strike against the Houthi rebels in Yemen. This is a good one. Aliens found in Peru are actually dolls made of bones, forensic experts declare. Did y'all see the picture?
Yes. They look like voodoo dolls.
It did. It looked like a voodoo doll. Oh God. So they're definitely going to push the whole alien thing. That's on the agenda. I know you've seen the meme out there where it has all the aliens standing together, and they go, "Ooh, I'm nervous. We're up next." All right. Back to the Houthis vowing to keep attacking ships in the Red Sea. Just go ahead, folks, and look at why this is so important over in that area. Just information. Right there at Yemen is where there's this main part where you can enter into the Red Sea. You come off the Persian Gulf into this little strait or whatever, which is controlled by the Yemenis or whatever. It's a choke point is what it is. And if they can cause disruption there and ships can't get through, that means that companies are not getting their products. Prices are going to go up on things. You have that issue.
200%.
Yeah, well, yeah. Like Argentina just went up 200%. So there's a lot of shipping that goes through the Red Sea, and I think there's two ways out of that once you get to the top up there. One side, you go to the right, and it goes towards Gaza, and then the other side goes out into the Persian Gulf. I think that's how it works, but that's a very important area for shipping. Okay, NBC News lays off dozens. They just need to go away. 2 U.S. Navy sailors missing off the coast of Somalia. I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, they were Navy SEALs.
Were they? Okay.
Yeah.
Quaker Oats recalls 24 more products due to salmonella risk. Quaker Oats, folks. Salmonella. Check it. See what products that they are recalling. Texas blocks federal border agents from processing migrants in Eagle Pass Public Park. So that's the Texas blocks. Yeah, they blocked the federal agents. Okay, cool. So Texas is taking over that area, and we'll see how that plays out next week. Mike Lindell's protest, Fox News, halting My Pillow ads. So Fox News has officially, they did it a little bit before, but they're done with Mike Lindell. They don't like what he stands for. So the Rhino Party and the Rhino establishment, they're shutting him down from advertising on Fox News. And the last one, ruling party's La Xing wins Taiwan's presidential election. So from what I saw, that means that it'll remain status quo in Taiwan, but there's a lot of crap going on there. We still think something's going to happen in Taiwan. And if that does happen, then technically the Biden administration will be fighting wars on 4 fronts.
It's crazy.
That's not good. That's not good. Okay. All right, ladies, what time is it?
5:30 here.
It is 21:38 here. I'm an hour behind you, though.
Okay, 22:30. Okay, yeah, so this is a little longer than last week. Okay, all right, it's fine. So let's go ahead. All right, so folks, that is the news blast for this week. There's a lot of other things going on as well. That's just some of the main headlines. So if you saw anything in there that was of interest to you, go look it up. And we'll see how next week plays out, and we'll see if I'll do another one. We just went a little longer this evening because we wanted to get the information from Lori on what was happening over in Lahaina. I don't know why I'm not. Yeah. So do y'all have any information y'all want to share? Anything else?
Do we have any Iowa listeners?
We may.
I just think it's really important that people know who Nikki Haley really is.
Yes. Yes. I've had a conversation with a gentleman who is apparently running for a seat in Congress here in North Carolina, and he's on a chat with us and several other folks, and he was talking about singing praises about Nikki Haley, and I'm like, dude, do you know what she's about? And so I started sending him information of what some of the things that she said in the UN, what some of the things that she did in South Carolina. Nikki Haley is a rhino. Do not trust her.
Yeah, I don't even listen to what they say. I just look to see who's donating to them. Tells you everything you need to know.
Yep.
And the left want her in. So
yeah.
The bottom line is that no matter where it is in politics, in schools, in anything, you can't trust the mainstream media. We keep saying it and saying it and saying it, and people are still saying, well, I didn't see it on the news, so it can't be true. Research, people. All we're asking, just do your own research. And it's so easy to find things. I mean, not on Google, but, because they're going to lie about everything. But you get another search engine, and I use Brave, and you will eventually always get to the truth.
Yeah, I don't know how many times we have to, and I guess we'll just keep doing it until this war ends. But folks, the mainstream media, they are fake news. They are the enemy of the people. They are the propaganda arm for the globalist deep state agenda. That's what they are. And we've proven it time and time again. And Laurel, I'm like you. I don't know how anybody can actually watch it and believe what they're saying. But hell, my mom is still a Jehovah's Witness, even after all that stuff that's come out about them. So I get it. I know people are indoctrinated. I know it's hard to break that.
It's very,
I,
very hard to do
we know.
that.
We all three of us were part of that religion. And so we had to go through some very tough soul searching when we woke up from Watchtower. And I know it's the same thing for folks that are waking up to the political side of things.
And the thing is, and I can say from experience, I was out of that cult Watchtower for years. But I just went along with my life. I didn't research it. I guess because I'd always been told not to, and when you're raised third generation like I was, it no matter what you think, how far you think you've gotten away from things, it's still in the back of your mind. You're still brainwashed. You are still brainwashed until you do the research and prove it to your own mind. You can't. Nobody else can do it for you. You have to look up what interests you and what you want to know, and that is how you get rid of what has been inculcated in your mind by propaganda.
Amen. Well said. And on that note, we'll end this here this evening. Well said, Laurel. Folks, if you want to follow Laurel or Lori, they're on Facebook. We also
Can I
have
just
the
say
big.
something about that?
Yeah.
I don't post much on Facebook other than the big picture.
Yeah.
I am mostly Maui Bell on Telegram, TikTok, and X.
Okay.
Twitter.
Maui Bell.
Maui Bell.
Yeah, you put a lot of good stuff on Telegram. I do see them. And but yeah, folks, we have the big picture on Facebook. Our group there, that's where we just post stuff for information. And then we do our big picture show. That is over on the BitChute channel. The episodes are numbered 1 through 16. And I'm telling you, I highly recommend you guys just checking them out. We drop a lot of information in those 16 episodes. So much information. And then you'll probably be able to see where we're coming from and why we say some of the things that we do. Most important thing is to, always keep an open mind about things, because you never know what you'll find out. But we really appreciate you guys tuning in this evening. Thank you so much for everybody that's been with us on the live. Thank you for the comments. And we want to send you guys much love, happiness, and, hey, do something next week. Get to know one of your neighbors. Just say hi. Get to know one of your neighbors and see how it goes. You might find out that you have more in common with your neighbors than you think. So thank you, Lori, my sister. Thank you, Laurel. I appreciate you, hon. You guys are the best. I love you.
Love you too. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Thanks,
Good night.
Have a good week.